I'm on a mission to teach coaches and entrepreneurs how to make more, work less, hire their funnel, and let the funnel do the work. If you're ready, join me on Monetize with Marcus podcast. All right. Am I inappropriate for laying down and teaching you? It's kind of sloppy, lazy. Okay. A big part of this is marketing. I wanted to show you in advance, this is how you steal attention. Whatever the norm is in someone's mind, they expect you to be that. That's why you don't hop on videos. You don't produce content to say, today what I want to teach you is, and you look normal, you look regular. No. You start thinking about what upsets the equilibrium, what steals the attention of online. But the big point in all of this, I want you to relax and just be yourself. I wanted to make sure this video unpacks and explains to you, when we talk about how to sell it, big part of your brand promise that's missing is your brand story. Elements of who you are, what you believe, your core philosophy, your mistakes, your failures, your do's, your don'ts. All of that makes up content that lets people trust you. So let me tell you, we just started talking about your brand promise in the last video, where you package, instead of an industry, you start having the conversation about what you do for people within your industry. So you don't talk about the task, the occupation, you talk about the transformation you provide within it. Now, here's this big part. Brand promise was there. Let's talk brand story. So if my brand promise is I help coaches and entrepreneurs make money online even if they don't have a lot of followers, right? Like, that's a brand promise. Now, brand story is the elements that make up my core philosophy, one of which is not selling ebooks. Why is that a core philosophy within my story? Because I started telling people, see, when I got started selling books for only $20. The issue with this is I wasn't really good with marketing, so every day I had to find a new customer because people only buy a book once. It made it where I had to market harder, where money was shorter, and I didn't have a large following. I had less than 1,000 followers, so I didn't have enough people on my email list to really grow it. You see already, brand stories connecting to my brand promise because I help people without a lot of followers. You follow me? So I want you to start thinking about with your brand story, how you sell it. This is how the elements come together. Brand promise, brand story. This whole disruption, what you're seeing, watching this is me. This is my personality. This is how I move. See, some would say a course has to be sitting behind a desk. You got to be sitting at a table. No, what you have to be is you. So you want to take the essence of who you are. Let's break down some elements of a brand story. What is your core philosophy? Number one core philosophy that I teach all the time with the Monetize Online Business Blueprint, which is my main business model, is we don't sell products. We don't sell services. We sell solutions to problems. So that deals with how we then sell a solution, which is ourself or a product or service to help people. So you think first and foremost in your brand story, what's my core philosophy? What do I believe about what I'm teaching? That might be different from other people. It might go against the grain. It might be against the norm. What's my core philosophy? Let's start there. Now, what's that, what I call low to high, or some would call it high to low story? But what do I mean by that? Low to high would be, I was at my lowest, I only had $11.37, and I tried to figure out how do I grow an online business. I quickly learned about sales funnels. And now sales funnels become the bridge that takes me in my brand story from low to high. Or we can go high to low. I remember when I first saw $100,000 in the bank. Greatest day of my life. I was like, whoo, man, this is that moment that everybody waited for. But it wasn't always that way, and it wasn't that easy. I went from $100,000 in the bank all the way down to figuring out how I was going to feed myself, how I was going to pay bills. How did I go from $100,000 to $11.37? It's because I realized that I was never successful. I just had money. I didn't know how to build a business, and I was missing this critical piece that I'm going to tell you. You see how I mixed my brand story, and I went from high to low. $100,000 was the high, $11.37 was the low, and I can wrap that into my content. That makes up your brand. That's how you come up with content. So the first thing I just taught you a second ago in your brand story, because we're connecting this to your brand promise, I just told you in your brand story, that first piece I gave you was very, very simple. I gave you that piece that said your core philosophy. What at your core do you believe that a person absolutely needs and have to be successful? Then I started talking to you about your low to high or high to low. What was the lowest moment of your life and how did you climb? Becomes the steps. Or what's the highest moment and how did you go from this high moment, and then you can take them back to the beginning of how it all started. Now, Let's go through one more piece of your brand story. And there's so much in this, but one more piece of your brand story. Let's start talking about within your brand story, mistakes that you wish you would avoid it. Biggest mistake I made in business was blank. That's aspect of your brand story. If I could start all over again, I would do blank. That's a part of your brand story. I want you to sit still. Listen, if you don't skip this, like go back, listen to this video over and over and over again before you move forward. Because your brand story can make or break how you sell what you sell. Because people buy you. They buy your belief before they buy a product. See, they could shop online and find whatever they're looking for. But why would they look for you if you haven't captured the essence of it? Like, think about it. Your personality, you cannot hide it behind a product. You can say, I'm not giving them me. That's cool in the game, but it's personal brand will outlive and outlast everything else. So let's build into this brand story. I've given you some game in this. All of these videos are actionable items. Brand promise. I told you how to walk through it. Connect your brand promise to your brand story. And I want you to put these together. And next, we're going to talk about marketing. I'll see you in the next video.